All right. Well, good morning and welcome to your Friday. My goodness, we finally made it. For me, I know for me at least, I'm 2 weeks now into distance learning. And so I finally have something to look forward to on the weekends, and that's not distance learning. But this morning, we're joined with Miss Cunningham, who is a teacher at Grattan School. Grattan is a K-8 school out in Denair. And I did not catch from you earlier, Miss Cunningham, what grade you do teach.
This year I teach eighth grade. I
Okay.
just switched over to eighth grade this year after 12 years of fifth grade.
And so for these smaller schools, because I mean, here, I get so lost in the city of Modesto that I sometimes forget about these smaller schools, but these smaller schools where you're K-8, I mean, you don't just teach one grade, you bounce around, you teach different grades. And I mean, you wear several hats.
Yeah, it just depends on what we're doing. Most of us stay in our little niche out here, but yeah, in my first couple of years here, it was combo classes and absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. And Lacey Logan Elliott says, hi, Mrs. Cunningham. So she must know you.
She does. Her son is in my class.
Yes. Can you spill any tea? How's her son as a student?
Oh, he's amazing. Yes.
Yeah. Are you saying that with air quotes? He's amazing.
No, I don't need air quotes. Landon is amazing. He gets his work done. He's on time to my Zoom meetings. No, I love it.
Oh, you have all sorts of fans joining the stream this morning. Cheyenne's
okay,
with
so
us
that's Bailey's mom. Bailey is a student at Grattan School. Yeah, I guess I'm popular. I didn't know.
I didn't know I was landing a big fish when we got you for an interview this morning. Hello. I know. All right. So we're in the middle of a Chromebook drive right now where we're in the process of trying to put new updated Chromebooks in the hands of every child here in the Central Valley as we begin distance learning. We have a goal of around $25,000. And as we stand now, we're a little over $1,000. So thank you so much to all who have donated thus far. We've been speaking with teachers this past week just in the challenges in distance learning with Chromebooks that are outdated or some children that don't even have Chromebooks. And you were telling me earlier that yes, your school has Chromebooks, but like some of the schools earlier that we talked to this week, these are 5- and 6-year-old Chromebooks that just don't work like they're supposed to.
Absolutely. And some of the ones that we have are not Chromebooks. So they don't have all of the tools and things that
you're not uniform.
We're not uniform. Exactly. And it makes it difficult. We've had, some frustration with parents, and I get it. I'm a parent, and we've had frustrations with my daughter's Chromebook, and she's in high school. And so it's super frustrating. And I just think this is so important for these kids of Stanislaus County to have one-to-one devices. It's going to make this distance learning so much easier.
Well, one-to-one devices, and then also to be able to make it a uniform process all the way across the board, so everyone has the same thing. It's it's like when you look at textbooks, and because you've gone through college, and so you go through a class and they're like, hey, you need to get edition 7 because if you have edition 6, the word "and" is in the wrong place, and it's just not going to work for you.
Yeah, and you're sitting in class going, oh, I have edition 5. Oh, yeah, totally.
What are some of the challenges that you face that you're facing with these students right now as you're doing this when you're working with somebody who's working with an older and outdated Chromebook? What are some of the roadblocks or obstacles that you encounter as you're trying to just deliver the basic information that's your job?
Well, I mean, just having the kids log on and having their connection stay. When you only have 30 minutes or 45 minutes in a session and you've got kids that are getting kicked off 3 and 4 times, it really hurts the lesson process, and it's very choppy, and it slows everything down. And
then I don't know how your school is doing it, but like for my children, and I've got younger children too, so you can relate to this one, but mine are 9 and 10. Their attendance is counted by whether or not they're on that initial Google Hangout in the morning.
Correct.
So if you have some students that can't connect, then they don't get credit that day.
Correct. So, and we just want the kids to learn, that's what we're here for. And so we want it to be as easy as possible, because I'm pretty sure no parent sat down this summer and said, I think I'm going to be my child's teacher this year.
Right.
And so, right. And so we get it. Teachers get it. And we want it to be as easy as possible. And so if every kid could have a Chromebook, we could just make this process a little bit easier on the parents and the students and the teachers.
Right. Yeah, and something too that I don't think that a lot of people really realize, and I don't know if you can talk to this or not, but when it comes to When it comes to the social interaction, because we were talking about how a lot of the teachers now, I think most teachers are using the Google platform, right? When it comes to distance learning.
We are at Grattan. I'll just speak for us. Yeah.
And for GVA, I know we're using Google Classrooms there as well. And so what I like about it is how it has all the classwork set up, but then you do the Google Hangouts for the social interaction to meet with the children. And I know that as grades go up, the Google Hangouts don't become so much of a social hangout as it becomes like, here's what you need to do, kids.
Right.
But for like my students or for my kids, the teachers get on there about 5 or 6 minutes early to let them sort of get the wiggles out and talk to each other. 5 minutes after to also kind of talk to each other. Yeah. Kids are missing this social interaction right now.
They are. I mean, I don't know. 8th grade, I get a lot of this. So I try to tell my kids, like, listen, I know, it's just the teenagers. It's like teenage years. There's no excitement really. And they have to be like, oh, my parents don't know anything. And it's so boring. And, but they do like getting on. They do like seeing each other, and it's true that social aspect is so huge. And it's a really big bummer that we are where we are. So
that for me, it's a bummer that we're letting a $200 device stand in the way between children being able to connect and do work and not. And somebody brought this up to me the other day. Mrs. Benkula, she was over at Valley Home Joint School District. She brought up a really good point. Is that every 2 years we go back into Verizon or Metro and AT&T and say, hey, my 2-year contract is up. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this $1,200 iPhone because it's 2 years later. Meanwhile, we're asking our students to use Chromebooks that are 6 years old and saying, hey, come on, it's a Chromebook. What do you really need?
And saying, why are you having connection issues? Absolutely.
Meanwhile, we're going to pay out the nose to make sure that we can play Angry Birds flawlessly. That seems like an issue to me.
No, it is. Let's break it down further. So you say $200. Well, if you could get a friend and a couple other friends to get $25 together, you can sponsor a Chromebook for a kid. I feel like that's what we need to think about is how can we get a Chromebook? So maybe people can get together and get $25 here and $10 here. Maybe we need to challenge businesses. Maybe you challenge your next door business. Hey, we're going to donate 100. Will you donate 100 and we'll get a Chromebook for a kid? We got to get these Chromebooks in these kids' hands.
And we have to, I think we really have to get the word out that it's better to donate the money to this than it is to go out and buy a Chromebook. I mean, if you go out and buy a Chromebook for a child, awesome. But at least this way they can utilize the discount and get more Chromebooks for kids. Because I know that a lot of places offer deep discounts for students and educators. So this seems like it'd just be a better way to get more into their hands.
Well, I just think that every kid in Stanislaus County having a Chromebook should be a huge priority for us right now.
Yes. It seems simple, right?
Preach it.
Like it's one of those things like, why are we having this conversation? But we have to,
Correct.
So,
correct.
Okay.
But maybe today is the day that people go, I think I'm going to donate. I really feel like this is something. And I feel like we should say that no donation is too small and it all adds up. And let's get these Chromebooks in these kids' hands.
Like take, for instance, $1. Like if all you can do today is go to kop.com and donate $1 because of the discount, that $1 may actually be $1.50. Like every little bit helps.
Correct.
Okay. All right. It's Mrs. Cunningham. It's from Grattan School out in Denair. She is you said the 8th grade teacher, right?
I'm the 8th grade teacher this year. Absolutely.
This year for the first time after 12 years of teaching 5th grade, which means that in 2 years, you're going to have some of those 5th graders again.
I know. I'm so excited.
Do you ever hold a grudge? Do you hold any grudge? Do you have any right now where you're like, okay, 730 days from now, you and me?
I mean, I'll tell them that, but I don't really mean it. I love all my kids. I love them. So, I've been doing this for 18 years at Grattan. I've been at Grattan for 18 years. And so, it's just a blessing to know all the kids.
After 18 years, are you out of the promotion or the probation period, or are you still like trying to prove yourself?
Well, according to my boss, I'm always on the probation period every year. But
I wish I would have had you as a teacher. You seem like a really fun teacher, man. Where were you when I was going to school? Yeah.
We have a good time in my class.
Let's update these Chromebooks right now. We're talking about Chromebooks that are 5 and 6 years old. I can guarantee you right now, if you're looking at your phone, it is not as old as these Chromebooks that we're asking our children to use and our educators to use as we do distance learning right now. KHOP.com. Mrs. Cunningham, thank you so much. I say to all the teachers, even though I'm 42, I'm going to call every teacher Mr. and Mrs. I just cannot help it. I can't.
It's okay.
I will never look at you, even if we like cross paths at an Olive Garden. Yeah. All right. And
I'll be Miss Cunningham. I love it. It's fine.
100%.
I agree. Yeah. Totally fine.
Thank you so much for coming on this morning.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Camp.com, please donate. And thank you for doing what you do. Sincerely.
Oh, my pleasure. I love what I do. So thank you.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye-bye.